Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Nick Faust and I'm the Communications Specialist here at the City of Janesville. On behalf of the City, I'd like to thank you for joining us for our 2021 Volunteer Appreciation Event and Award Ceremony. While usually an in-person event, this forum offers the City a special opportunity to reflect upon the contributions made every day by volunteers across our organization. It also aligns with National Volunteer Week, a time when our nation recognizes the efforts of our country's volunteers and emphasizes the many benefits of volunteerism. This event allows the City a time to offer our special thanks and gratitude to all of our organization's volunteers. For it's because of their continued commitment, the City is able to not only fulfill, but excel in our mission of innovatively providing effective municipal services and remaining responsive to the needs of our community. A mission that's accomplishment would not be possible without the over 600 City volunteers who, through no compensation or compulsion, commit to service with a spirit of civic duty and a belief in Janesville. Volunteer service allows us to reach beyond our budgetary restrictions and organizational capacity and provide additional resources, more effective services, reach more citizens, and strengthen our community ties. And perhaps no year was better at illustrating the importance of the critical role volunteers play than this past year. Janesville, like communities across the country, faced an unprecedented and formidable threat. The coronavirus pandemic has tested our city and our community at every turn. And while it brought with it a great deal of damage, pain, and losses we still feel today, it also highlighted the resolve of our entire organization and the power of our community strength. And nowhere, perhaps, may that be more evident than the perseverance and fortitude displayed by you, our City volunteers. COVID-19 meant great uncertainty and change to what it means to be a City volunteer. As events were canceled and programs changed, our processes adapted, and you, our City volunteers, were required to be dynamic. As programs and events changed, there are countless examples of where your dedication and adaptability stepped up and shined through. For example, this past year, around this time, many City volunteers received a crash course in the world of virtual meetings. Volunteers on our boards, commissions, and committees dedicated extra time and effort to learning a completely new process of conducting City meetings. Many times along the way, our volunteers actually helped staff improve and refine the virtual meetings process, ensuring we maintained productive and accessible public meetings throughout the pandemic for our community. And while now just a distant memory, City poll workers, in the spirit of democracy, helped accommodate an unprecedented presidential election in November, helping over 34,000 voters, 23,000 of them absentee voters, exercise their right to vote, during a global pandemic. And further, in a time when outdoor recreation became for many in our community one of the few safe escapes from quarantine, the volunteer contributions of individuals, service groups, and local businesses to our park system became ever more apparent. As Wisconsin's Park Place, our renowned park amenities and exceptional community access to outdoor activity would not be possible without the hundreds, if not thousands, of hours contributed by volunteers to our park system every year. These efforts extend beyond the limits of the city extend our services, beyond the limits of city funding and guarantee our community an important respite from indoor isolation. In that same vein, our city looked to maintain our community's sense of togetherness throughout the pandemic, and our volunteers within the Recreation Division and Hedberg Public Library played a pivotal role in adapting programming and events under COVID protocols. Events like the drive-through trunk and treat, pod-style music at the Marv, and a reverse holiday light parade helped provide our city with a much-needed sense of connectedness. In fact, in spite of the pandemic's negative effects, these volunteer-powered events helped over 100,000 participants take place in Recreation Division programming this past year. And over at the Hedberg Public Library, our amazing friends groups and the many volunteers who work in the ground floor store, volunteer with programs, and help operational and logistical functions demonstrated that same spirit of adaptability, allowing the HPL to maintain adapted programs, innovate service delivery, and ensure crucial resources were available for the over 49,000 community members who hold library cards and the many more who rely on their services every day. And finally, in the world of public safety, we'd be remiss if we did not thank the countless individuals, groups, and businesses throughout Janesville who donated their time, supplies, and efforts to our pandemic response. The assistance of volunteered materials, knowledge, and efforts enabled our community to meet a previously unprecedented challenge with an unparalleled response. And moving forward, as our community continues to respond and recover from the coronavirus, we are more prepared today because of the efforts of our volunteer individuals. And while these examples are just a few of the exceptional volunteer service the city gets and only illustrates a fraction of the total impact of you, our volunteers, they begin to demonstrate why this past year the city remains as thankful as ever for our volunteers. It also demonstrates why our city volunteers truly embody the sentiment of what it means to be Janesville strong. And while this year we cannot welcome you in, unfortunately, to share now your stories and perspectives, we would like to take the opportunity to tell the story of a few city volunteers for their truly admirable work. For this reason, today the city will be awarding Volunteer of the Year awards to individuals from 5 areas within our organization. This year's Volunteer of the Year award categories are Administrative Volunteer, which includes board committees, commission members, members of our elections team, and volunteers working out of City Hall. The Library Volunteer of the Year award, which includes volunteers from the Hedberg Public Library, JATV, and JM4C. The Parks Volunteer of the Year award, which includes volunteers from our Parks Division. The Public Safety Volunteer of the Year award, which includes volunteers from our fire and police departments. And finally, the Recreation Volunteer of the Year award, which includes volunteers from across our Recreation Division. To select winners for these awards, city departments and staff were asked to select an individual from their respective areas of service they wish to recognize with this honor. Staff considered many volunteers with decades of service and scores of accomplishments between them. And while, if we could, we certainly would recognize all of our volunteers individually, it is evident that the volunteers selected for these awards today have truly remarkable commitments to our city and have made great contributions to our community. I am pleased now to be joined in this recorded format by not only the city staff members who nominated this year's Volunteer of the Year awards, but by the recipients themselves to help tell their stories and accept their awards.
I'm Officer Sean Jauch of the Janesville Police Department, and this year I get the privilege of awarding the Public Safety Volunteer of the Year award to one of our chaplains at the Janesville Police Department. Chaplain Tim Hartley is a full-time pastor at Harvesters Church in Janesville. He has been a volunteer chaplain for our police department for nearly 12 years, since June of 2009. He provides week-long 24/7 call-out coverage on a rotating basis with our other 4 chaplains. Chaplain Hartley is our head chaplain and has trained new officers regarding the role of a chaplain and critical incident stress management. Hartley is available consistently for one-on-one counseling with officers, has made an effort to ride along with those officers and be available at the police department to make contact with and assist administrative staff or any other staff we have at the Janesville Police Department. Even during the past year, with all of its ups and downs, Hartley still makes an effort to attend JPD officers' events, including officer recognition programs, officer promotion ceremonies, and a wide range of other police-related events to be a presence for our chaplains program. Hartley has been a consistent rock over the years as he has served with us. Hartley is the go-to chaplain when others are busy or unavailable to take a call out for service. During the last year, Chaplain Hartley has covered many calls for service where other chaplains have been unavailable during their week of service. He has dropped his personal plans countless times in the past to assist the police department with calls for service to back up his fellow chaplains. Hartley has been instrumental in developing and maintaining our chaplain resource binder that includes the names and phone numbers of all area clergy and other resource documents for our other chaplains to utilize during callouts. As COVID has forced us into the virtual world, Chaplain Hartley has worked with our IT person to get chaplain content into a newly created JPD Guardians app to allow officers easier access to resources. When this app gets pushed out to all JPD officers, it will benefit the chaplains program as well as our peer-to-peer team to assist officers more efficiently. Chaplain Hartley has many ties to the community, and he's a very respected pastor in this area. He constantly looks for opportunities to get people in the community aware and engaged with the chaplains program. One such contact was with the Elks Club of Janesville. Through conversation, Chaplain Hartley brought up the chaplains program with members of the Elks Club and how it was a great resource for the Janesville Police Department. He often promotes the program, calling people to pray for the success and safety of the Janesville Police Department and its officers. A member of the Elks Club took it upon himself after hearing Chaplain Hartley talk about the benefits of the chaplain program to organize a fundraiser to aid the police department with funds for chaplain training and equipment needs. Chaplain Hartley's community involvement facilitated the relationship between the Elks Club and the Janesville Police Department, which resulted in a large event raising money to offset costs for the Janesville Police Department's training budget and the chaplain's program equipment needs. This event allowed the community to invest in a program that supports the most important public service servants who sacrifice for the community every day. Chaplain Hartley is a member of the International Critical Incident Stress Foundation and performs diffusings and debriefings of critical incidents and one-on-one interventions for officers and the community. Hartley has facilitated numerous critical incidents, diffusings, and debriefings for the Janesville Police Department after critical incidents. Hartley has facilitated critical incident stress management debriefings for area businesses suffering loss or involved in critical incident. He is a liaison between the chaplains program and the school district of Janesville. Hartley has facilitated debriefings for the school district after suffering loss or involved in critical incidents. During diffusings and debriefings, Hartley is well versed in all aspects of those facilitations. Hartley goes above and beyond following up with families involved in critical incidents to make sure they have the resources to sustain them after a critical event. Chaplain Hartley is also a member of the International Conference of Police Chaplains. He has attended many International Conference of Police Chaplain regional seminars. Hartley is one of the remaining members of our chaplain team that was exceptional in facilitating the 2014 Regional International Conference of Police Chaplain Seminar that was held in Janesville, Wisconsin, and hosted by our department. Hartley worked countless hours to make that seminar a success. I'm honored and privileged to nominate and award Chaplain Tim Hartley with the Public Safety Volunteer of the Year Award. Pastor Tim, could you come on up here and accept this award?
Thank you. Very surprised, but very honored to receive this award and to appreciate the officers and the administration there at the JPD. It is truly an honor and a privilege to serve the men and women of our law enforcement officers here, and to be used at any time for whatever it is to be a support and a help for them, but also to be a help and a support to the community members as well. For generally when we are contacted by an officer to go to a scene, it's generally for that of a death notification or to have presence of a chaplain while a family has just been given some very tragic news that a loved one has died. And so to help the families, it's an honor to do that. To help the officers fulfill their job as well, it's truly an honor. And to be selected for this year, I'm again humbled and honored, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian McCormick. I'm the library director here at Hedberg Public Library, and today's a very special day because we are recognizing one of our volunteers, Selena Corbett, and it's been over 40 years that she has been volunteering here at Hedberg Public Library. I've only been here for 14 plus of those, but just in those 14 plus I've enjoyed seeing Selena, behind the counter, volunteering and working with our patrons, working with our staff, and I'm very pleased and proud of her work that she's done here. And with that, her supervisor, Heather Olsen, has a few comments that she'd like to say, so with that I'm going to introduce Heather Olsen.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Heather Olsen. I'm the manager of the ground floor store inside Hedberg Public Library. It gives me great pleasure today to speak about one of our best volunteers, Selena Corbett. Selena exemplifies all the great qualities that our volunteers bring to the table. Selena's been with the Hedberg Public Library for 40 plus years, as Brian stated, working in many different departments. She's currently working for me at the ground floor as a cashier and is a delight to work with. Her reliability has been astounding even throughout this last challenging year. She often helps out by picking up extra shifts beyond her scheduled times. Hers is the first friendly face patrons see when they walk into the ground floor of the library. She always treats customers and fellow volunteers with respect and oftentimes with her own brand of humor. She's a joy to have as part of our team, and I am thrilled to present her with the Library Volunteer of the Year Award. Congratulations, Selena. This is for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Would you a fist bump? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to volunteer here at Hedberg Library because I love books and I love to read, and that's why I volunteered so much.
We love having you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dennis James is the Ice Age Trail Alliance Rock County Chapter Coordinator and member of the Janesville School Outdoor Lab Advisory Task Force. He's an extremely dedicated and dependable volunteer that donates hundreds of hours each year to making the trails in Janesville and the county more enjoyable for its users. Dennis has organized and volunteered at multiple events, helping to bring in more users to the Ice Age Trail and Park system. The community is extremely fortunate to have such a dedicated volunteer. Thanks, Dennis. Yeah.
I'd like to thank the committee, Ethan, Cullen, the entire park staff, and especially the citizens and users of the trail in Janesville and in Rock County. I was very shocked when I got the email and very, very pleased that I was being honored this way, and I'd like to thank everybody. Thank you.
I am pleased to be here today to award Jessica Locher the 2020 Volunteer of the Year Award. Jessica will be completing her second term on our Community Development Authority, or CDA, board this year after serving a total of 8 years. During this time, Jessica has served as board chair for 4 of those years and vice chair as 3 years. As a member of the CDA, Jessica has oversight responsibility for the city's Housing Choice Voucher Rent Assistance Program and provides guidance regarding other state and federal grant-funded programs designed to support affordable housing, maintain decent, safe, and affordable housing, providing homeownership opportunities, and advocating for fair housing. She has guided the CDA through numerous multi-year planning processes, including those for our Community Development Block Grant and home funding programs, the Rent Assistance Program, and the Analysis of Impediments to Fair Housing report. She has also overseen numerous changes designed to adapt to regulatory changes, housing market changes, and improve the programs to make them the best they can for the residents of our community. Through her efforts, numerous individuals and families have obtained decent, safe, and affordable housing. This past year in particular, Jessica guided the CDA in the transition to virtual meetings and oversaw numerous program modifications and waivers that were needed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. She also supported and promoted a new initiative to address homeless among youth who have experience with the foster care or child welfare system known as the Foster Youth to Independence Program. She's currently serving on the Rock County Eviction Reduction Work Group. Jessica is always willing to speak out at events in support of those in our community that need assistance and is a constant advocate for Janesville's lower income population. In addition to all of her work on the CDA, Jessica regularly volunteers her time and leadership to other community organizations and efforts. Just a few of the examples that I'm personally aware of include serving on Focus, which is a city-initiated committee of many nonprofit and governmental agencies to find opportunities to collaborate and unite services around homeless individuals. The Homeless Intervention Task Force, the Janesville Farmers Market, including being their current board chair, Forward Janesville, including serving as an ambassador, volunteering on the YWCA Selection Committee for the Women of Distinction Award, and the Zonta Club. The city and the CDA have greatly benefited from Jessica's commitment to and leadership on the CDA. Congratulations, Jessica.
I would just like to thank Jennifer for nominating me for this award. I'm very grateful to have this great award. I have been living in Janesville probably for about 14 years, working at ECHO for 16, and really saw Janesville as a great community and wanted to be supportive of everything that Janesville is doing to be a vibrant, welcoming community to all of its residents. And I saw this opportunity to be on the Community Development Authority as a way of helping make residents feel welcome, have a safe place to live, especially considering my passion, especially with my job, is working with the low income and homeless population. So I thought it was a great fit to make sure that we could make sure those who are homeless and low income have a safe place to live. Thank you again for this award. I greatly appreciate it.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelley Slapak, Recreation Director for the Recreation Division here at the City of Janesville. When I received the information on the City Volunteer Program, I was very excited to nominate Jennifer Nelson. Jennifer Nelson has helped out the Recreation Division in the past year in so many ways, it's hard to even describe. Without Jennifer as a volunteer and other volunteers, because we certainly in a typical year get quite a bit and we couldn't do all of our programs, events, and especially operate some of our facilities such as the senior center without volunteers. But last year with the pandemic, situations changed and the Recreation Division still offered programs and events. We did so in a safe way, but that meant we needed volunteers. We needed more volunteers than we may normally have. And it's hard to get volunteers, but Jennifer Nelson stepped up to the challenge. She's a passionate volunteer for the community. She'll tell you that herself. She volunteers not only for the Recreation Division, but various downtown events. You'll see her friendly face at the farmers market every Saturday. But for the city, Jennifer did the Music at the Marv series. We were able to have that concert series. And she showed up to not only every concert, but she went above and beyond by coming at the beginning to set up, and she was the last one there at the end, helping us clean up at the end. So we certainly appreciate her efforts there. Also, with our large-scale community events, we had a Twilight at Traxler, which is normally our Enchanted Forest. She helped out there, I believe, multiple nights. She said, throw me in whatever position you need, whatever character nobody wants to be, Shelley, I'll help you out. So definitely appreciated her doing that. The Trunker treat, she was there. I think she was the gingerbread person for that with a smile on her face, handing out candy. And then, of course, lastly, our Janesville's Jolly Jingle. She helped out there in so many capacities as well. So again, I appreciate Jennifer's commitment to the volunteer division and was excited to nominate her for this award. Super happy for her to receive this. And Jennifer, congratulations, you deserve this award.
Thank you so much, Shelley and the Janesville.
Yeah, come up here, Jennifer, and if you have comments you want to say.
I would like to thank Shelley and staff and the downtown Janesville to add along with the City of Janesville. And I enjoyed every minute of the farmers market, Music at the Marv, and the trunk or treat, the Jolly Jingle. I would be more than happy to recommend the City of Janesville's Recreation Department, downtown Janesville, and whatever organization is in this city that I've been in for 40 years. Thank you, the City of Janesville and Shelley and staff. I love you guys all. Thank you for your support.
The city again thanks all 5 of our Volunteer of the Year award winners for their remarkable service to our city and to our community. Through the application of their skills and dedication of their time, the impact they have had on their respective areas of service is quite clear and has certainly enriched not only our city as an organization, but our community. And again, while this year we cannot invite other members of our volunteer groups to pass the microphone as we typically would, we would like to invite you as our volunteers and others in our community to help us highlight the service contributions of yourself and other city volunteers you may know. To do so, we're asking that you submit volunteer stories for yourself or someone you may know to the city at cojmedia@ci.janesville.wi.us. That's the email address, cojmedia@ci.janesville.wi.us. Here, the city hopes to highlight some of these submissions by sharing them on our social media pages so that we can communicate the critical work of volunteers from across our organization. You may also share these stories online by tagging the city on social media in any posts about a volunteer you may know. Be sure to tag the city at City Janesville on Twitter and at City of Janesville on Facebook. We hope that while we cannot come together in person to celebrate your contributions, this will allow us a chance to give you the thanks you deserve and the recognition all of our volunteers do as well. And if you or someone watching today are curious about volunteering with the city, or perhaps you're a former volunteer looking to get involved again coming out of the coronavirus pandemic, I would encourage you to visit us online at www.janesvillewi.gov/volunteer. That's www.janesvillewi.gov/volunteer. There you'll find important information about volunteer opportunities with the city, as well as an easy-to-complete online volunteer interest form, which will connect you with a city staff member who can contact you directly to answer any questions you have about volunteering and discuss getting you involved in our organization. In closing, I would like to again thank all of the city's volunteers for their continued dedication to our community. I'd like to thank JATV for helping film, produce, and record this event. And on behalf of the city staff, City Council, and community, I would like to express one final time how grateful we are for our volunteer service. As we look ahead to Janesville's continued recovery from the coronavirus, we cannot wait to be joined by many of you in upcoming events, programs, and happenings when that time comes. We're certainly hopeful we'll be able to welcome you all back again in person next year and celebrate the many successes and contributions to come. Remember, because of your dedication and support, we together are Janesville Strong. Thank you and have a safe and happy weekend.